Hi, everybody. I'm Vinny Moraz, and I am a creative aging teaching artist as well as a lifetime arts trainer. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of the work that I've been doing in teaching Comedy Workshop. So, Comedy Workshop is a program that I've had the chance to do at a couple of different senior centers. The first picture that you see there on the left is myself and the participants from the Lincoln Square Neighborhood Center in Manhattan. This was after their culminating event, and this version of the Comedy Workshop focused on original storytelling and writing, as well as there was some stand-up material that we were able to generate in that workshop. On the right-hand side is a picture of the performance of the improv show at Wartburg. And again, it's the same workshop, but based on where I am, I've been able to adapt it to the people who are in the group and what they're most interested in doing. We worked on both improvisational games as well as stage presence, things like how do you actually perform. Some of them have never performed before. The picture on the right-hand side is from the culminating event at PSS King Towers in Harlem. And again, this one focused a little bit more so on original writing and storytelling. This is a gentleman performing his story for that culminating event. It's interesting the difference between these two pictures because at Wartburg we have this very big chapel that we get to rehearse in. At PSS King Towers, we were in the multi-function room that was kind of the lunchroom, the art room. They used it for everything. And so as I've taken this workshop to different centers, in addition to adjusting it to who's in the room with me, there's also the aspect of actually changing it based on the room that we are in. I've been lucky enough to be able to take it to different places and try to plug into who is in the community and what's the space that we're working in. So these are just some examples of that workshop.
Hi, I'm Lauren Jost. I'm a teaching artist in creative aging programs. I work primarily with the New York Public Library and the Brooklyn Public Library in their services for older adults. And I'm going to share with you a creative aging memoir program that I did with the Brooklyn Public Library a couple of years ago. This was a storytelling program called I Know a Thing or Two. It was held at the Brooklyn Public Library Central Branch near Prospect Park. The participants for this class were all members of the community, but about half of the class was actually part of a adult literacy class that was also being held at Brooklyn Public Library on the same day. And so that often they would go and from the literacy class directly into our storytelling class. That was really interesting in this group because we had a very, very wide range of literacy levels amongst the adults. There were some people who were very fluent in speaking and writing in English, others who were new to the English language, and then others who were lifelong English speakers but had never really developed any writing skills. And so there was a really broad range of skill level coming into the class. And one of the things that was most meaningful during this portion was the community building that happened amongst members, and frequently hearing from people towards the last couple of weeks of class that they found that they were finding things in common and making friends with people that they wouldn't have thought that they had anything in common with. And you can really see that those friendship and relationships between the participants was a really meaningful part of this program.
Hello, I'm Antonia Perez. I'm a creative aging teaching artist and a lifetime arts trainer. And I'm going to be showing you a little bit of the work that I've done at the Jacob A. Riis Senior Center. The center has a very small art room in which for years children were doing art while people in the senior program just watched. And they rallied around the organization to get their own art class, and it filled up quickly. One fall, on a beautiful day, we had the opportunity to go to the local park 2 blocks away and do a plein air drawing program. Some of the participants walked to the park. Some took a van. This was the beginning of a drawing program that led to printmaking. In the next slide, you see one of the participants, Annie, leading the reflection. On the board are a group of their prints that they had made over the course of 12 weeks. One of the skills that they learned, in addition to drawing from observation, carving a plate to make a print and printing, is to talk about their work and to discuss it in a reflection. And Annie was very excited to be able to lead that reflection with the group. Later on, their work was shown in an exhibition at the center.